So it's on page 9 of the Vanguard. It reads, Japan denies creating special visas for skilled Nigerians.
I can't do this.
Welcome back to Chokitable Media. We are all aware about the meeting of African nations that came up in Japan on the 28th of August to 22nd of August 2025. And this meeting brought a lot of controversies. In fact, there's a big problem between Japan and African countries that attended the meeting, most especially the 4 African nations. I'm right here today to explain to you the reason behind the controversy and why the Japanese people are angry with their nation. Here are the overview of the Japan-African Partnership controversies. Listen attentively and learn more about how to build your nations. The citizens of Japan are angry with Nigeria, Ghana, Mozambique, and Tanzania due to a significant misunderstanding surrounding a cultural exchange initiative announced during the ninth Tokyo International Conference on African Development called TICAD 9. This was held in Yokohama on August 28th to 22nd, 2025. The Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, designated 4 Japanese cities as symbolic African homes for these African countries to promote cultural and personnel exchanges. However, misinformation about the program led to a xenophobic backlash, with many Japanese citizens falsely believing it would result in large-scale immigration from Africa. The statement was made, but there is a lot of big misunderstanding in the use of language, and this is causing the problem between the citizens of Japan and the African nations. Why is the anger? Why are they annoyed? Number one, like I said, is the misinformation and mistranslation of Japanese to English. African media outlets publish headlines like Japan dedicates Nagai City to Tanzania. Listen attentively. Japan dedicates Nagai City to Tanzania, which was mistranslated into Japanese as Sasageru. So that is, Sasageru means sacrifice or offer up. That is to say, they are giving up the city. If you translate it back into English like that, then you have Sasageru as being, sacrificing or giving up that town, that city to African people. This implied that Japanese cities were being handed over to African nation. First statement. The Nigerian government released a first statement claiming that Kisarazu City will be open to Nigerians wishing to live and work in Japan with a special visa category for skilled workers. Although later corrected, this statement went viral and fueled fears between the Japanese people. Nigerians always jump at, statement like this, where they will have free visa to go in, free visa to live in another people's country. So the government of Nigeria just came back from that meeting and announced to Nigeria that there are special visa for skilled workers. And that city I talked about, Kisarazu, has been given to Nigerians to come and live in Japan. Second thing that caused the problem is the fear of immigration between the Japanese people. The Japan has historically homogeneous society with foreigners comprising only about 3%. We have only 3% of foreigners living in Japan. The idea of large-scale immigration trigger anxiety and crime, cultural dilution, and strain on public resources. That is the feelings of the Japanese, which is very, very correct. Then social media posts warn of a flood of immigrants and ask who is going to take care of them, who is going to take the responsibility for these Africans when they take over these cities mentioned. Number 3, there's overwhelming public response. Like the 4 cities in Bari, Kisarazu, Sanjo, and Nagai were inundated with thousands of angry calls and emails from residents. For example, Sanjo received 350 phone calls and 3,500 emails from their citizen. In Bariface, 460 and 1,400 emails. Resident demands answer about whether their cities had adopted new immigration policies. Number 4, xenophobic sentiments. The backlash includes racist stereotypes such as fear about disease, e.g. Ebola, forced marriages, and crime. And the right-wing political groups like Sansaito Party capitalize on these fears by promoting anti-immigration narratives. That is why they jump on the street. That is why they tell their people what the government were planning to do with them. So the right-wing political groups call people to the street to start to protest so that they can withdraw or readjust that agreement. Number 5, government clarification and deniers. Japanese officials include Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshimasa Hayashi, mayor of the affected city, and JICA repeatedly clarified that the program did not involve immigration or special visas. The mayor emphasized that the partnership was focused on sport, education, and cultural exchanges, e.g. Kisarasu baseball program with Nigeria. So there is nothing like that, like the mayor has been denying and telling his people to get the meaning of what they were trying to do, to get it very right. Let me give you one by one the key misunderstanding in the responses to all these troubles. Did the African people respond well? Did the Japanese people also respond very well? The key issue here is this. Special visas for African workers. So, number 1, no such visa exists or planned according to the Japanese people. Handing over city to African nations. There is nothing like handing over city to African nations at all. It was caused by only misunderstanding or the use of languages or translation of languages to other language. The partnership are symbolic and focus on cultural exchanges only, nothing more than that. Large-scale immigration, the program involves short-term exchanges, e.g. students, athletes, not permanent relocation. That is the main thing that we people should run away with, not with the forced narration from the African nations. Tanzania, Mozambique, Nigeria, and Ghana. So the underlying tension is that the Japanese aging population and labor shortages have sparked debate about immigration, but public resistance remains strong due to cultural preservation concern. Despite the fact that they have aging population, Japanese people held on, are holding up firmly to what they have. What they have, they don't want immigration. They want to remain the way they are because they have a fear or a strong fear that the country demography is going to change. By the time you allow the African countries to come in, the poor people will always move. They will move in droves into Japan, and that is the problem. And this is actually causing the tension. So the incident highlights the power of misinformation and sensitivity of immigration issue in Japan. So let us remain the way we are. That is what the Japanese people are saying. Let African people also remain on their own land, so that at least if they need to come, there should be a special arrangement, not like this one they are talking about. But actually, there are a lot of misinformation, and I've been able to explain to you what is there correctly. So my conclusion, and I want you to put this down as well and know this in case of another time. So the anger was directed towards Nigeria and Ghana, the anger of Japanese people. This seemed largely about misinformation or mistranslation of one language to the other, rather than the actual intention of the African nation or Japanese government. While the African Hometowns initiative was designed to foster mutual understanding, it's inadvertently exposed deep-seated xenophobic sentiment and anxiety about immigration in Japan. The Japanese government continues to work towards correcting the misinformation and reassure the public. In fact, that is what they're supposed to do. But the fact here is this. Every year, like that, they invite the African nation to come to Japan. I'm talking about African nation, a continent. I'm not talking about one country inviting another country. I'm talking about one country inviting about 54, 56 countries in Africa to come to their homeland. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to me. So that means the African nations or the continent has really submitted themselves completely that they are no good, that they cannot even do good for themselves. Instead of them inviting Japan to come to Africa, a whole nation is now inviting the whole continent to come to their own country, and yet we can still not interpret what they are saying, or the interpretation or the understanding of the meeting they had. We can still not really imbibe it very well. We cannot really understand it very well, so that at least we can tell our people the real facts about whatever it is that we agree upon in this type of meeting. It's actually not sitting well with me in my own conclusion. Why should the whole nation go to Russia? Why should the whole nation go to Korea? Why should they go to China? Why should they go to any other part of the world whereby they've been invited? Nigerian government, African nations should rise up and do things right for their own people, so that at least the way other citizens of the world sees us will be different from the way they are seeing us right now, because they know the problem. Only if we are lying to ourselves, we tell ourselves that they don't know what is going on in Nigeria or any other African countries. They know very well, quite all right. So we need to be careful, build our own nation, build our own people, make things right for our citizens, provide for them, so that they won't see us as pauper. They won't see us as nations that do no good. I will play for you the opinion I garner also from Jimmy Disu.
So it's on page 9 of the Vanguard. It reads, Japan denies creating special visas for skilled Nigerians.
I can't. Every time the president, remember, it happened in Dubai. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know what is happening, let me tell you, the kind of country we live in. Our own government had said that Japan, the president just came from Japan, had planned to introduce a special visa category for skilled Nigerian workers. Guess what? The Japanese denied it. They said there's nothing of the sort. Where did we get that from? The media handlers of this Tinubu's government will be one of the factors that will do him in. It happened when he went to Dubai. You remember? Okay. It says Japan has denied reports that he planned to introduce a special visa category for skilled Nigerian workers seeking to relocate to Kisarazu, the Japanese city recently designated as Nigeria's hometown under a cultural exchange program. Recall that Abiodun Olatunji, Director of Information at the State House, had in a statement on August 22 that the Japanese government will create a special visa category for highly skilled, innovative and talented young Nigerians who want to move to Kisarazu to live and work. The Japanese denied it. I think this director should be fired. If the government is looking for a fall guy, or else we'll take it that it was the government. Yes, if you don't fire him, then we now take it that it is the government. We will take everything the government says with a pinch. I've always done that anyway. And the thing is, the world has shrunk. The world has shrunk. Every day at the Brazilian embassy, there's an information officer or somebody there who sends news of what he sees every day. He will send it back home. Any responsible embassy or whatever is going to do that. I don't know if the Brazilians do that. And so when you go for these things, what they are looking at is, look, what we want to grab from these guys, let's grab. Let just leave them to say all kinds of things. They have their eyes on something. We don't have our eyes on anything as exhibited by issuing wrong statements. At least officially, we don't seem to have our eyes on anything. And it is very, very sad that the credibility of a nation, not once, not twice, you will go for an agreement. Or is it that our people don't understand what is being said there?
Of course they did. They understood everything. They heard everything. Yeah.
You think so?
I'm not sure that they will be speaking in Japanese. Even they did, there will be interpreters and everything. This guy humiliating, actually.
Very, very humiliating.
This is Chukitable Media. Don't forget to share this, subscribe, like, and put on your notification button, and God bless you as you do. See you next time.